Yo, Miz on me, appreciate you guys for continuing to support the movement. Another great topic. NBA season wrapping up. NBA Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame weekend. Man, let us know what you guys think. Remember to click subscribe, like, and share. And remember to leave a comment below, man. Big Zoe Podcast, man, available everywhere. Miz on me.
Let's start the
Yeah, you already
conversation with
know.
the coach. Start started. Mizomi. Welcome to the Big Zo podcast. I go by the name of Berto.
It's your boy Beast on the beat.
Hey man, today's conversation we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. The NBA season is wrapping up. We have the playing games. That's the remaining games for the season to find out which team is going to be in the 7th seed or the 8th seed. I guess we're gonna talk about there's a lot of topics we could talk about since the NBA season is ending. But let's start off with the you know the the statement that Scotty Brooks, which is the Washington Wizards head coach, he made a statement was saying the NBA playoffs, he doesn't like it, but he was kind of playing around. That he came up and said, LeBron was right. We shouldn't play the playing games. That he came back and said he was just joking around. And LeBron, obviously he already made his statement saying that whoever came up with the playing games for the 7th seed and the 8th seed should be fired. So the question that we're gonna start is, do you think the playing game was the right thing for the NBA to do? Was it a positive or negative effect for the NBA, especially for the playoff? What do you think, Beast?
I definitely think it's a positive. I think we play in games, it brings back like a March Madness atmosphere to where, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to be the best team to go out and win one game. And the way the NBA is trying to go, they're trying to go into where teams can start betting, or people can start betting against these teams and stuff like that. So I think it's the right way to go. With that being said, I also think that the NBA players are fatigued, especially after 82 games, man. And you got to do 82 games, and then you have to go grind for a play-in spot. I don't think the players are too happy about that. So they might be trying to fight for less games during the regular season so they can do the play-in game. But I think the play-in is real good for the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I would say because of COVID, I think they only playing 72 games instead of 82 games this year. So because of COVID, they had to figure out how to make the TV revenue to make their money back because all the money they lost. And also they started to play a game last year at the bubble in Orlando. And I would say I like the playing games because I know last year, man, the bubble was like it was like amazing basketball, man. You seen like Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell going at it, man. They dropping 40 points, 50 points. They going at it, going to game seven. I mean, going to game seven. Like I feel like the whole I mean, not game seven, but in the bubble, like they were just going at it. And I feel at the end of the day, it's one game. It's like March Madness like atmosphere. It's like the NFL playoffs atmosphere. Just one game could decide it. Like I know tomorrow night we got like the Lakers and Golden State match, but people that if someone haven't been noticing, Steph Curry's on fire right now, and he's just on fire at every level. So who knows? Steph Curry probably could beat the Lakers. I know LeBron is back, Anthony Davis is back, and I think Dennis Schroeder comes back tomorrow night. But at the end of the day, man, who to say that Steph Curry can't beat the Lakers? You know what I'm saying? And that's exciting because it's basically one game, or elimination. But I think between the Lakers and the Golden State is whoever win get the 7th seed. Then whoever lose plays the winner of the number 9 and 10 seed. Then they'll play
Mm-hmm.
that winner to become the 8th seed. So I think it's great energy. So it's a playoff atmosphere, like a March Madness type atmosphere. That means no garbage basketball. Every team is going to try to play. It's like a championship level type of competition. I think it's great for the NBA, man. Especially, I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to watch even the Western Conference, but I'm excited for the Eastern Conference, man. Especially like Westbrook. Westbrook's been on fire lately too, so he's been killing it. And I know Bradley Beal just came back and they won the other day, so I'm excited to see that. I'm not saying the Wizards are going to win the championship or they're going to win the playoff series, but I think, man, if they could get to that 7th seed, I want the Wizards to get a 7th seed just to play um the Brooklyn Nets, man. What do you think?
Or you want them to play the Brooklyn Nets?
I want them to play the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not saying they're gonna beat the Brooklyn Nets, even though like I think this year what like 3-0 against Brooklyn Nets this year or something. I'm not saying they're gonna beat the Brooklyn
Yeah.
Nets, but I just want to see because Westbrook, like he gonna be like hungry, and I know sometimes he play out of control, but he's gonna be hungry. And if you got, and I'm not saying they're gonna be the Brooklyn Nets because with these two guys, Westbrook and Bradley Beal's been playing great this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping maybe they could push Brooklyn next year.
My dog lost the scoring title, man. He lost the scoring title to Steph, man. But yeah, my dog Bradley Beal definitely been hooping. Yeah, I guess the storyline would make sense. You know what I'm saying? Westbrook versus Durant, but it's a wrap, man.
Yeah, I know it's a wrap, but I think the storyline with Westbrook versus Durant, Westbrook versus Kyrie Irving in the point guard position, like I just want to see like go at it because I don't think whoever's the AC because I think Charlotte, if it's Charlotte wins or Boston, I think they're gonna get killed by Brooklyn regardless. But at least I know, okay, with Washington, you got two stars that can make it, competitive. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
Yeah.
I think what the other team is gonna be 4-zip easily. But can you say with Wizards gonna be 4-zip easily? I think it might go to maybe 6 games.
Yeah, but I think the way the NBA is gonna go, East and West won't matter no more in a few years. It's gonna be the. I would love for like the Suns to play a team like Miami, or you know what I'm saying, like something out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying, or if Washington could play a team like the Jazz or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I seen this morning they were talking about like the first 16 teams. That's something like I know they flirt around like previously years about changing the NBA playoff format. They were talking about the first 16 teams with the best record in the entire NBA will make it. And I know I think it was like either First Take, I think Stephen A. Smith or Max, one of them said this morning that or it must have been another show, I can't remember, but it was pretty much the new way should be like the first 2 teams get to pick who they want to play in the playoffs. So basically, if you got the number 1 pick, if you got the number 1 record in the East, you should say, okay, hey, I want to play Miami. I can play any team except the first 2 teams. And if you got so you know what I'm saying. So if you want to play the 6th seed, you want to play the 7th seed or the 8th seed, you got the choice to pick who you want to play. And then if you're the 2nd seed, you pick the leftovers. And I think that's what they were talking about possibly for the future. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's good or
Yeah,
bad.
I don't like that idea.
Well, you know why they were talking about it. Now that I thought about it, it's because I don't know if you watched that. You see the Clippers, your Clippers, they basically.
Hey, what you said?
I said your Clippers.
I'm a Heat guy, man. Hey, I'm a Heat guy. Don't make me show you the sign. I'm a Heat guy.
Your Clippers pretty much tanked the last 3 games to go to the 5th seed. That way they could avoid the Lakers. I mean, what do you think about that? That way, the only way they're gonna see the Lakers if and that's if the Lakers win tomorrow night against Golden State and they get the 7th seed. The only way the Clippers gonna see the Lakers is in the Western Conference Final. What do you think about that, man?
I think CP3 said it the best, man. It don't matter what team that you get on the Western Conference on the Western Conference side, they're gonna be a hard team to guard or a hard team to play. I don't care if it's the Jazz, if it's the Suns, if it's the goddamn San Antonio right now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever team you play in the West is gonna be hard. And with the LA story, uh, I don't know. I really haven't seen the Clippers play. And is Kawhi back? I'm not sure if Kawhi's back. I know PG's getting his form. Beverly, I don't know what's up with Beverly. You know what I'm saying? So I also think this is what I should ask you. Um, all these playing tournaments and stuff is very exciting for the game. It's very it brings a lot. It's going to bring a lot of money, especially you talk about adding 2 new teams like Vegas and Seattle. So that definitely the team's gonna. I mean, the NBA is gonna grow. But do you think they should shorten up the regular season and have these playing tournaments and stuff like that?
I don't think they should shorten up the regular season. I think they should keep it at 82 games and continue to have the playing tournament. Because was that going to do eventually? In my opinion, it's going to force these guys to play, like not skip games. Because think about it, if you play 82 games and then you got these guys like what they call load management, like especially the Clippers, they pick games they want to play, the Clippers players. What happened if they say, man, damn, what happened if I fall in the 7th seed? Like what, if I fall in the 7th seed, 8 team, I got to play a playing tournament. And any team that has a star like Steph Curry, any team that has a player like a Steph Curry, they could get off for one game. They could drop 50 on you in one game. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna be great to just keep it 82 games and do a play-in, because playing is gonna avoid like teams is like, hey, I don't want to be in the 7th seed. I don't want to be in the 8th seed. So I gotta have a better record. Because you gotta think about it. It's not like the Lakers, like I think when before LeBron got hurt, they was in the 2nd place in the West. Then when LeBron, it's because LeBron was hurt. No, first Anthony Davis was hurt, then LeBron got hurt. So that's why they dropped. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if Lakers wasn't, if these guys were healthy, obviously they would have been like 1 or 2 or even the top 3, seed in the West. So I think with the playing tournament, it's going to force these guys to be like, damn, I got to come back. Even if I'm hurt, I got to come back early, because if my team keep losing without me, I could fall in the 7th seed, I could fall in the 18th. I think that might be better that way.
I think, to be honest, I think the season should be shortened, and just for the fact that these guys don't take the regular season like they don't. It's not important to them. Like they don't care where they fall in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Durant missed over like 20 games. You know what I'm saying? Like multiple guys miss multiple games, and like they're still ahead. I understand what you talk about the Lakers situation and avoiding playing in the playoffs or the play-in. But what I'm trying to say is, if these guys played about, let's say, about 60 to 75 games, I feel like these guys will have they have more recovery time. Plus, it gives these small market teams a chance to be on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never see the Magic play on ESPN unless they play in the Lakers or the Nets or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think they should shorten up the season, give these athletes more recovery time, and then when you have these playing tournaments and playoffs, like these guys are more engaged. Like think about even though the season was a quick turnaround, we had 75 games. Look how many players or stars are hurt. You know what I'm saying?
But that's because the season started. It ended late, and it started like a little early, even though it started December. I know some people say it was late, but it's because it started early. Usually these guys I think have like 3 to 4 months off, and I think this time it was like a month and a half or something. So I think that's
right. But think about it. Harden was taking, like at the beginning of the season, Harden was taking time off. Kyrie was taking time off, even though they had off the court issues. But these guys were taking time off. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was a way for them to rest.
I mean, I hear you. I mean, me personally, I like the 82 games. And maybe if you make it maybe 50 games, then they'll be like, damn, we got to get a good record. Or how about just keep it 82 games, or maybe change the season a little bit. Like sooner NFL season is over, how about start the NBA season? You know what I'm saying? Or just do it like, how about the play-in is not only the 7 and 8 seed, how about the play-in is like the 6, 7, and 8 seed? So that will force teams, because looking in the West this year, like I think like the 3rd seed, 4th seed, 5th seed, they all had like the same record pretty much. There was only 1 game behind or 2 games behind. So think about it. So that will force, if you do like 6 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed do a playing tournament along 1 game only, along with the 8, the 9 and 10 seed. I mean, I think that would scare players to be like, damn, I don't want to get in the bottom seat, because I could do a play. Archie could do a play in tournament, and any player could take off, and then we'll be out of the playoff, or we'll be out of the 6th seed, or we'll be out of the 7th seed or the 8th seed. You know what I'm saying? I think
But they also might be like, hey, I'm gonna take my couple rests and then get myself ready for this 1 game or 2 games that I have to play. And then by that time, I'm in my mojo or whatever to be in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I know.
I don't think players are going to think like that. Oh, I can take my rest, because if it's only 1 game, you know what I'm saying? If it was like a 7-game series, okay. 7-game series, you know the best team is winning. One game, like anything could happen. And if you have a star player, that star player could like that. Like think about it. Like I'm looking at it like a game 7, like in last year with Denver and Clippers. Like no one expected Denver to win game 7. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like no one expected Paul George to like play the way he played. It was trash. Like think about it. That's basically a game 7. That one game is basically, hey.
Yeah, but think about how many superstars, including Kobe Bryant, that in these 7 games they didn't play very well. Like there's a lot of guys. I remember vividly Kobe Bryant against Boston in that game 7. He wasn't the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know if you could depend on your superstars for that. I mean, you say one game, it's like a give and take. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. One game, it's like you're not guaranteed. Like people saying, okay, the Lakers are guaranteed to win. Well, we don't know that. That's one game. Like if you have,
I mean, but listen, all the boys gonna do is double team Steph Curry. Steph Curry, like Clint Bazemore, is not gonna save them. Like that's what they talk about because a play-in tournament is like a playoff game. The game changed. The whole game slowed down. It changes. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not gonna do nothing but triple team Steph Curry. Steph Curry gonna have to hit it to one of these guys, these role players, and I don't think they're ready for that moment.
okay, so what about like last year? If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think in the first round of playoff last year with Denver and Utah. You remember it was game 7. I think Donovan Mitchell dropped 40 and Murray dropped 50.
Yeah.
Like it was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's like damn.
They went back and forth throughout that whole series.
But I'm saying game 7 is like you know because think about it, it's just one game. So even if you have a star player could explode. Like imagine like a team like we talked about them earlier, like Washington Wizards. Okay, yeah, we expect them not to make it out of the first round. But can you tell me like if you have one game, you don't think like if Steph?
I do not want Westbrook as my point guard. If it's one game, I do not want Westbrook as my point guard.
But I'm saying though, what like Westbrook could get hot. Like Bradley, it's not like Westbrook. Westbrook is a super like a star player. He could get hot. Bradley Beal's like a star player. He could score anytime. He could get out and drop 50. That's just one game. You know what I'm saying? And anything can happen in one game. Like how many times you see in NFL like, damn, how many times in March Madness? Like freaking who won the championship this year? It was wasn't it no, Baylor won the championship, national championship, right?
Baylor.
And it's like everybody was picking the other team. But it was just like, damn, it was one game. We're able to say, everybody's like, damn, we didn't see this. We didn't see it coming, but it was just one game. Now, I'm sure if it was a 7-game series, okay, the other team, I can't remember what team they played, but they could have made the proper adjustment. But it was just like they hit them.
And you know what happened? Everybody was thinking Gonzaga was going to get in the game. What? They got in, they star player had Jalen Suggs, and that nigga went to the bench early, and them boys just took over.
Yeah, it was a blowout. That's what I'm saying. But it's because like the Baylor players was making threes, they were making shots everywhere. And Baylor's not even a 3-point team. They're not even a 3. Baylor's a big, they're big, they got big men. I think they was ranked number 1 in scoring in the paint. And they just took off. And them boys play physical and they took off, they shoot threes. That's what I'm saying. It's one game, anything can happen in one game, man.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, I mean, look, there's a lot of like people saying, man, who's the MVP, man? I know the Joker from Denver. I'm not gonna say his name, so I'm gonna say the Joker because I can't. Was it Nicolio, whatever? But the Joker, people feel like Steph Curry. I feel like Joel Embiid was on there, but since he missed a lot of games, it kind of messed him up. But a lot of people saying why people don't give Chris Paul that proper respect. If you think about it, it's the same roster from last year, and he's the only denominator. And he basically changed that team completely. Like, I think they got the second best record in the NBA, in the entire NBA, and they 1 game away or 2 games away from having the first best record in the league. So my question is, man, who's the real MVP?
I mean, I was even thinking about CP3 until you made that point. So CP3 is definitely up there, but
because before you go, let me say, okay, so I was watching, they did the stats. CP3 got the same numbers as far as statistics, like with points, assists. It's similar to when Steve Nash won the MVP. Now, Steph Curry numbers this year is better than the numbers that he won at both of the MVPs. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll just let you think about that before you answer your question.
Well, I was going to give Steph the MVP anyway because Steph, to me, Steph had a second, like after All-Star break, like right before All-Star break, around All-Star break, I could say he had his breakout season, but I think it has to be Joker, bro, because like I think everybody thought the Nuggets were gonna be trash after the Jamal Murray incident, and the fact that they're still relevant, you have to give. I'm not saying it's not Joker's not the factor that the team is gelling great, but I think he's definitely an X factor. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the factors in there.
I mean, the thing is,
because they're playing great as a team.
Yeah, and Michael, shout out to Michael Porter Jr. Like he stepped up after Murray. I think the whole team is playing great, but you got to look at Joker number. He has great numbers, so I think that's why. Then he's the only player that played all 72 games. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why they rewarded him. Because I think he at the end of the day he's gonna end up winning MVP because he's the only player that played 72 games. And it's not like he's putting up trash numbers. His numbers are great. If you look at his numbers, like they're beast mode numbers. But when I look at, but it's something like it's like weird. When I look at the Denver Nuggets, I watched Joker, but I feel like Michael Porter be taking off. I feel like another player be taking off. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like his numbers like how would I say impacted like the team. I just feel like the team overall is playing better. Like Steph Curry, you could tell like damn when Steph Curry takes off, oh they're on fire. Like the other day he took off, he was hitting threes, and it was like okay, you could see like he was the X factor. Like you could see like his points was killing the other team more than Joker points was killing the other team.
But that's why I said I don't think Golden State's gonna make it that far because all you have to do at that point is double team, triple team Steph Curry. Who else can step up at that point? See, with the Nuggets, you just can't say you're gonna stop the Joker and y'all gonna win the game. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he does other little like stuff like passing, rebounding. He's not a defensive guy, but they do it collectively to where the point they win games. You know what I'm saying?
And
So I think that's what makes. I think that's what makes. Oh yeah,
Eric Gordon was a great pickup.
Yeah, so it's like they gelling right. You know what I mean? They're gelling right, and they're young. That core is young, so them boys gonna be scary in a few years.
Me personally, I feel like Steph Curry should be the MVP. I don't think he's gonna get it because of the record, his overall team record. I mean, but to be honest, MVP is basically the valuable like player, and I think like if you look at what Chris Paul did this year, man, I didn't see the Suns being this good. Like I didn't see like
shit. Even what he did last year, nobody seen he was doing that with OKC. And the great thing about Chris Paul is he's literally going to these teams and doing that in one season. He's not taking them a year to get to gel with these guys. Like these guys they're gelling as soon as you get there. So I think Chris Paul also going to become a point guard. I mean, become a coach one day.
And by the way, by the way, not to cut you off. Remember last year when I was saying I think the Bucks should trade for Chris Paul, and you was like, oh, I don't think he gonna be doing it this year. Imagine if the Bucks had Chris Paul, because it would take a lot of pressure off of Giannis, man. It would take a lot of pressure off of Giannis. But like I said, man.
See the thing.
No, go ahead.
Everybody thought Chris Paul was is aging. So they think that, with aging, you're going to decline. But
you're going to decline.
He's not declining. He's not declining. His body's I think he's plant-based. Like he on a plant-based diet. And like his body feels good. And he's running with these young guys and giving them knowledge. And these guys respect him to the point where, you know what I'm saying, they're absorbing what he's saying and they're gelling because of that. And another guy, think about the same guy he was butting heads with that also had a great season, James Harden. to see
Mm,
what how the I'm talking about with the
uh,
Nets, how the Nets played. How the there you go,
I mean,
Adrian.
I'm not here. He had a good season, but I mean, he missed a lot of games. I'm talking about like Chris Paul,
Oh
like
yeah, I'm not saying he
yeah,
played for
yeah.
MVP. I'm just saying
Oh,
how
okay,
he
okay, okay.
orchestrates the team and how he has a team. He grab it like how Chris Paul is making all these guys like they following his lead. Like when James
Yeah,
Harden get the ball or whenever somebody rebounds the ball with the Brooklyn Nets, they look for James Harden. They don't look for Kyrie or KD. They look for James Harden. The
yeah,
same thing
yeah.
with Chris Paul. So I'm just saying it's just weird or how they used to butt heads when they're really like the same type of players.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, for MVP, it could go either way, man. Like I said, I think the Joker's gonna win. Hopefully, it could go either way, man. I don't even know. But what you think, man? Obviously this weekend, man, it was a Hall of Fame. There was a lot of people got inducted to the Hall of Fame, but we just gonna talk about three players because they was basically the face of the Hall of Fame of class of 2020, and they got inducted this year because of COVID. The Hall of Fame was ceremony was canceled last year, so they actually did it this weekend. Obviously Kobe, the great Kobe, RP to Kobe. He wasn't there. But what do you think about the Hall of Fame, man? Like out of all these players, I'm just gonna throw three names: Kobe, Timothy, Duncan, KG, man. Who would you say would say like had the best career out of all those three?
I mean, Kobe Bryant, that's obviously. Um, but all three of them guys had great careers. Like, bruh, the big fundamental and the big ticket. Like to me, Kevin, I ain't gonna lie. Let me say this correctly. Kevin Garnett is better to me than Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking away no credit, nothing from Tim Duncan, but I just think KG was better. You know what I'm saying? But to see them going to the Hall of Fame, it was great because I actually watched all three of their careers from an early age. So it was just great for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. If I had to choose a career, it'll probably you know, it would definitely. To me, it's not even close. But I see a lot of people saying it would be Tim Duncan. I guess because he has 5 championships, I think 2 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs. But my whole thing is, man, Kobe's career was just way better than Tim Duncan, man. At the end of the day, man, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, in my opinion, no one really gonna be talking about Tim Duncan. They're gonna be talking about Kobe. They're gonna be like, and it's just like, when you like, it's just like when I'm in a classroom or I see a trash can and I'm throwing trash, or you on a basketball court and you shooting. What you gonna say, Tim Duncan, or you gonna say Kobe? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I agree with you, man. And it's crazy. I don't know why Garnett keep getting disrespected, man. Because like for power forward, everybody don't put him like they don't rank him as high. In my opinion, is if I had to start a team, like if we're in the park, man, we're picking up players. I'm picking KG over Tim Duncan any day of the week. I just feel like
Oh
KG was a
yeah.
better player. I'm not saying KG was a way better player, but the way people talk about KG and Garnett, obviously they respect Garnett, he was a great player, but they act like Tim Duncan was his greatest power forward ever. He's all the way up there and everybody's on the bottom. And I don't know what people are seeing. Like I said, I'm a Lakers fan, and I used to watch a lot of the Spurs series. I watched a lot of Spurs basketball. I was boring as hell, but I watched the basketball games. But Tim Duncan was great, but I think Kevin Garnett's a little better. And I'm not saying a lot better. I'm just saying a little better. I'll just pick KG over Garnett. And we could talk about
Listen,
this.
listen. We hate we just hate that fundamental shit. We like excitement. We like to see, you know what I'm saying? KG was definitely the more exciting player, but that doesn't take away from Tim Duncan's skill set. And I think that's one, but the culture that he got drafted in, he got drafted with Hall of Famers. So it's like he got into that mindset right away. He was a system guy. I would have loved to see him go to Orlando and play with Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady, but that didn't happen. Um, and KG just never had that. You know what I'm saying? He had it towards at the end of his career, but he didn't have the luxury that Tim Duncan had. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably where most people would be like, he had a great career because he played with Hall of Famers and then played in like 5 championship games and stuff like that. Became the face of the organization and didn't have to go through anything. Like he ain't gonna have to go through adversity or nothing like that. But in my eyes, like nigga, that's why I respect Kobe more. You know what I'm saying? Kobe was a fucking 17, 18-year-old that got into the NBA, that went to fucking Philadelphia, where he's from. They booed him and shit like that. Niggas shot air balls, and then I've seen this nigga become a championship where niggas on the sidelines talking shit, and this nigga's like, bitch, I got 5, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that was the reason that drew me in more than Tim Duncan, not taking away nothing from Tim Duncan.
And I don't think people will respect the fact that what Kobe did was so great that, like, in entering his prime, you know, he said something. Well, he didn't say something, but the fact that he was like, man, I want to prove to win without Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these players nowadays, they want to team up with every superstar. There was a guy who was like saying, nah, this guy think he's the man, he's better than me. I want to go prove to win without him. And I don't think people give Kobe a lot of credit for doing that, especially in 2021. You got all these stars that joining together. You know, Kobe wasn't joining with no one. You remember Garnett said that he called Kobe and Kobe didn't pick up the phone. You know what I'm saying? When they were trying to get traded, he didn't pick up the phone. And that's how Kobe was. Kobe's like, if you're gonna come to the Lakers, you're gonna come to the Lakers. He ain't recruiting. Even when Dwight Howard, when they were trying to get him to recruit Dwight Howard, he was like, man, I don't want to. He's not doing that. And I just respect that mindset. Is like, damn, you gonna come here. And I disrespect. And then another thing about KG, man, he said it on his speech the other day towards the end. He said his only regret is that he didn't leave Minnesota earlier. You know, and I feel like people don't understand Greg Popovich, even without Tim Duncan, yeah, he didn't win a championship, but Spurs are playing great basketball. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a losing record. I think the first year when Tim Duncan retired, you remember that I think they went to like the Western Conference Final or something, and that's when Kawhi got hurt or something. That's when Shaja Buch's hurt Kawhi ankle or something.
Pachulia.
Yeah, Shaja Pachulia hurt his ankle, and that was when on the team with that was the best Warrior team when KD was on there. And they had him up. And I think people don't give credit for that.
No, KD wasn't there.
KD was in? But
that was the year before he came. Because that's when they had this 73-9 team.
73-19? Okay. But
yeah, KD wasn't there. That was the year before KD.
But the fact I'm saying, like, Tim Duncan came in with a Hall of Famer as David Robinson. And I think people forget David Robinson was a beast. He was an MVP, defensive player. He was a beast. You know, he came in with a Hall of Famer. He had the chance to, like, you know, play with Tony Parker, Ginobili throughout his whole career. You know what I'm saying? The same coach throughout his whole career. The only thing they did was move like pieces, role players. You know, Tim Duncan with 4 Hall of Famers. And I feel like, man, what would happen if Garnett would have said, man, I'm going to leave, you know, Minnesota early and go play with Boston. But instead of like these guys when they're 34, 35 years old, he gonna link up with them when he's 25, 27 years old. You know what I'm saying? And they prime. Hey, how many championships would they won?
But I'm saying that's why you gotta respect these young niggas to making these moves like they are. If Kobe Bryant was playing for the goddamn Charlotte Hornets and was losing instead of getting traded to the Lakers, his ass would have wanted to leave too. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know about that. Kobe was a different animal, man.
Listen, Kobe
would have been like
Charlotte was not winning. Charlotte was not winning when he got drafted number 13. They was not winning.
I mean, so you don't. First of all, obviously we're talking about like 3-4 years in. Like you'll have to give a player like that time to develop. I'm pretty sure. So
of course,
a player like that, I don't think Kobe would have been like a guy like Giannis or like a James Harden that be choking and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I put more on James Harden because James Harden had one thing about Houston that you got to give Houston credit for, they always put a great team around James Harden. They always put a great team around James Harden. But for some reason, like, he always choked. So I don't think like Kobe would have been that type of caliber player to be like, I mean, he would demand that the organization put a great team around him, or he would threaten to leave or something. But I don't think he would have woke up and be like, well, I'm gonna go join superstars. Because he had the old school mentality.
No, I never said he was going to a superstar. I said he would leave the team and try to go like to another organization. You know what
Oh,
I'm
okay, I
saying? I
got you.
never
I
said he
got
was
you.
going. Yeah,
I thought you were
I'm
talking about
not.
like
I'm
creating a super
saying
team or something.
no, no. I'm just
No.
saying he's not going to stay with that organization if they're not winning. You know what I'm saying? If I know like his rookie deal is over, he's leaving and going to LA or going to Chicago Bulls and then doing it there. You know what I'm saying? But I think the fact that Kobe played for the Lakers for his whole 18th year, like all 18th years, because he was drafted by the Lakers. If he was drafted by
Oh, he played
any
20 years.
other
20
small,
years.
oh my bad, 20 years. If he was drafted by any or other small organization, I don't think he would have stayed.
Yeah, man. That's. I mean, yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. What do you think about, man? One of the we're gonna finish up with the final question, man. What do you think about Houston, former Houston coach, Rudy, uh, Rudy T. I forgot his last name, Demotovich or whatever. But the former Houston Rocket coach, Rudy T.
Mm-hmm.
He got inducted to the Hall of Fame as well. He won 2 championships with Elijah, Kenny the Jet Smith, and them boys, Robert Horry. He made a statement towards the end of the Hall of Fame speech. He said Robert Horry should be a Hall of Famer for what he did to the game. What do you think about that? Do you think
All
Robert
right,
Horry should be a Hall of Famer?
that's why I don't even know one. I don't even know who this guy was as a player.
No, he's a
You know,
coach. He's a coach. He's the coach that won the championship with Houston. The 2
oh, so
championship
he got
with.
a so he's a Hall of Famer because he's a coach.
Yeah, because he has 2 championship with the
All
Dream.
right.
Remember when Houston won the
Well,
championship back in the early days?
that's
Yeah.
why people be. That's why people be saying like with the NBA, bro. Like they let anybody into the Hall of Fame, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's number one. Number two, Robert Horry was a role player, bro.
Yeah.
Like and plus they don't have, of course he should be a Hall of Famer. How about that? Because he got 7 rings. So, but he's not a first ballot or second ballot Hall of Famer.
My whole thing is to be honest, he should not be a Hall of Famer. And I don't like let's just, for example, like Chris Webber finally made it in. Congratulations, C Webb. But it took C Webb 6, 7 times to get in. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like
Mm-hmm.
my whole thing is, man, I feel like the NBA do let and it's like, let's rephrase this. So the Hall of Fame is not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's just the Basketball Hall of Fame. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So if you do stuff in Europe, because even Tony Kukoc, I think getting in next year is because he was this great player in Europe, but when he came to the NBA, he was average or even mediocre,
Mm-hmm.
just to be nice. But because he was the 4-time player of the year in Europe, like they call him like the Michael Jordan in Europe back at that time. So because what he did with Europe, that's how he got in. But my whole thing is with the Basketball Hall of Fame, you I feel that anybody again. I don't think everybody's a Hall of Famer, man. There's certain players
But
that
that's what I'm saying. They let anybody in, but it's like you might as well just let the man in.
yeah, I mean, and I'm not hating on Robert Horry. I feel like he was one of like the best role players of all time, man. He made a lot. Like he wasn't the guy that was just like alone. Even Houston had great players. He made great big shots. People forgot San Antonio when they beat the Phoenix Suns. He was the one that made the game winning shot. The Lakers, Sacramento, he made the game winning shot. So that's why they call him Big Shot Bob. Like he's a great like role player. He did his job, maybe one of the best role players of all time. But that doesn't mean you should be the Hall of Fame. I feel like Hall of Fame should be the best of the best. Like when you talk about the NBA, whatever your 100 years of the NBA or 80 years of the NBA, whatever it is, like you're gonna talk about Kobe, you're gonna talk about Jordan, you're gonna talk about LeBron. You're not gonna talk about like some of these guys that made it to the NBA, that made it to the Hall of Fame. Like they're not gonna come out if it's like 100 people talking. Some of these guys, you're not even gonna talk. They're even not gonna come out of your mouth. And I just think the NBA, and it's not only the NBA too, but I see like even with NFL, they're starting to put guys that you be like, what the hell? Why are they in the Hall of Fame? Like especially, I didn't like the way they tried T.O. Like T.O.'s the first ballot Hall of Fame, regardless. If you
Yes,
don't if you
man. They
don't
be
like the
trauma
man,
dog,
you don't like
bro.
the man. That's a personal issue. We're talking about football. We're talking about just what he did on the field. Ask defensive players, defensive coordinators, bro, what's T.O. that dude? And not 10 out of 10 they're gonna say yes, and the ones that say no is because they hating on the man. They didn't like the man.
All you gotta do is go on YouTube, man.
Bro, like, and that's what it is. Like, a lot of these guys shouldn't be on the Hall of Fame, man. And I'm not gonna say like the names. I mean, there's probably a list. I got to go through the whole list of the NBA Hall of Fame. Who's a Hall of Famer, who's not. But at the end of the day, the answer is no. I don't believe Robert Horry, Big Shot Bob should be a Hall of Famer. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't think just because he hit shots and got 7 rings, but it's like the way they doing it, bro. Everybody getting in, but it's to the point. I wouldn't be surprised if John Sally is a Hall of Famer, dog.
Now you've been disrespectful.
What? The man got to make what? Come on, bro. The man got rings now.
But Robert Horry actually did something though. He actually played good. He actually played a lot of minutes. And he actually, in some cases, he started. Some cases came off the bench, and he made big shots. Like, come on, go. John Sally got paid for just sitting on the bench.
John Sally was the guy to get him ready by partying that the night before.
If you want to say John Sally is the best player to never play a game, we can talk about that. See, the best player to get paid for never playing the game. We could say that. But anyway, man, we finna wrap it up. But any recaps about the Hall of Fame, the weekend? What do you think? Like, what do you liked about it? What you didn't like about it? Any recap? We're gonna wrap this up. Before we wrap this up.
Oh man. Nah, I just was mad Kobe wasn't there to get his jacket. I knew Kobe would have been talking shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree. I was just mad like Kobe wasn't there. I mean, I feel like Vanessa did a great job. I would say, man, and especially like no one's really talking about it. I think it's disrespectful that his parents wasn't there. Look, everyone has mothers.
Yeah, but that's another topic for another day. But
yeah, I mean, it's another topic, and I kind of don't feel really comfortable talking about it like that too. But it's just something I just had to bring up because it's like, man, look, at the end of the day, I understand the wife and the kids are grieving, but the parents are grieving as well. They lost the child, and I feel like the Hall of Fame, because I'm a huge Kobe fan. People that know me from back in the day, they know I'm a huge Kobe fan. I'm not no bandwagon type of fan. I'm a huge Kobe fan. Like, so earlier in his career, man, he even said it, like, he started playing basketball because of his pops. He started, learning the game basketball. His dad used to take him around the NBA arenas and NBA practices and playing other players. And, his first 2 championships, he was always appreciated to his mom and stuff. And I just feel like at the end of the day, I feel like they were disrespected the parents at the memorial service. And I just feel like it was another disrespect. And I'm not saying whose fault it is, but I'm saying that the NBA should have just figured it out and have his parents, attend, the Hall of Fame, man. And that's the only negative thing that I hate. I hate that Kobe wasn't there, and I hate that number 2, like, his parents, especially his pops, man, especially someone that taught him the game, wasn't there to at least, one last hurrah for for their sons. But that's my only thing I gotta say about that, man. I know it's a sensitive topic.
Yeah, dog, it is.
Yeah, anyway, man, we finna wrap this up, man. Appreciate you guys for supporting the movement, Big Zoe Podcast. Man, click subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you like. Hey, let us know what you think, man. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think, man. Look, who's the best Hall of Fame, best Hall of Famer class? We ain't talking about that. Hey, you guys can put that in the comment. But at the end of the day, man, holla at your boys, man. Big Zoe Podcast. Follow us every social media platform, man. We out, man. Holla at your boys, man. Miss on me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.